You want to win my free gift card giveaway? All you have to do is like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, leave a comment saying I'm a huge fucking faggot, and you'll instantly receive a brand new noose to fucking hang yourself with. Thanks, guys.
Since E3 2014, Michiganery or Crude have covered each yearly event since. From the mishaps of E3 2014 to the regrettable mistakes of E3 2015 to the horrible tragedies of E3 2016. Come along as Crude gives his thoughts on the depths of hell, aka E3 2017. God help us all.
I like this year's E3. Definitely could have been a bit better.
I thought it was really good. Far better than E3 2014. And if I were to rate each press conference, I would go with Bethesda, then Square Enix, then Microsoft, Sony, Ubisoft, EA, and Nintendo.
So to sum up my thoughts on every single conference, EA was shit, Bethesda did decent, Xbox was awesome, Ubisoft was cringe, Sony fucking killed it, and Nintendo showed, well, Zelda and, well, at least they're honest with us. All in all, my favorite conference was Sony's, Xbox being in second place, and everything else, well, yeah.
Oh boy, where the fuck do I even begin with E3 2017? Really, all I can say about this event is that it's probably the worst E3 in years. 2014, 15, and 16 were all very solid. Then they come out of nowhere with 2017, which is just a fucking disappointment in general. We start off with really shitty conferences and end with slightly less shitty conferences. Like, really? This is what we've been hyped up for? I'm guessing that they're saving all the real good shit for 2018, right? Because that's when we're gonna really start seeing all the games for Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 Pro start popping up. You know, at that point when they decide to abandon the original Xbox One and PlayStation 4, even though they say they aren't going to, they're gonna eventually. Let's just be realistic here. But I digress. Anyways, let's talk about each conference. Starting off with the best of the best, obviously. EA, my favorite publisher in the whole wide world.
Oh, yay, choke me hard, Daddy.
So to kick things off, let's start off with EA, which for a while now has been the starting point of each E3. But just like last year, and unlike previous years, they've been hosting their own event, which is called EA Play, which takes place during the time of E3, which kind of defeats the purpose of them having their own event to begin with. But you know what, this is EA we're talking about, so let's not try to actually understand it, just go along with it. So I have everything written down on my phone. Everything that happened at each conference I have written down because I cannot remember everything that happened for shit. So, to kick things off, EA decided to start everything off with this really pointless drum line that added nothing to the show whatsoever. I guess it was done to make things seem cool and help them stand out, even though that really didn't work. It was just there and completely useless. Next up, they revealed Madden 17, because who the fuck didn't see that coming, right? And believe it or not, but it has a story mode, just like every other sports game now. Because that's probably a trend, right? Then they showed off some Battlefield 1 DLC. So, a DLC for a DLC essentially, which I guess is pretty neat. They also showed it off with YouTubers and other celebrities playing it. I guess that was a way to appeal to the cool kids, right? Then after that came FIFA 18, which I believe also has a story mode. Then they had this really stupid and fucking unfunny comedic gig called Men in Blazers, which was just really awkward and cringeworthy and added nothing to the show whatsoever, kind of like that drum line. It was just there as a way to appeal to the crowd, really. So, we can just ignore that. Then they showed the next Need for Speed game called Payback, and they showed a little bit of gameplay, and I gotta say, it looks like fucking Need for Speed, but with a little bit of Fast and Furious mixed in. Then they showed this really badass looking game called A Way Out. This was probably one of the few highlights of the entire show, in other words, one of the only things that was less shit than usual. Then they showed what everyone's been anticipating from BioWare, the new IP, Anthem. They only showed a little bit at EA's conference, but then they showed more at the Xbox conference. Then they showed Battlefront 2, which is essentially a Battlefield 1 reskin, but with more content. Excuse me? EA? I was just wondering if we could maybe, see some single-player footage for Battlefront 2? What's that? You want to see some Battlefront 2 multiplayer, even though it's the same fucking shit as Battlefront 1? No, I just want to see single player to see what you guys are doing with the story this time around. Alright, you've got it. brand new Battlefront 2 multiplayer gameplay coming up. I imagine that's how it went when they were deciding what gameplay they were going to show for the game. And so, that's that for EA's conference. As usual, the shit show of it all, the worst one of them all, and the most forgettable in general.
Ain't nothing like a good teraflop in my anus.
So after what was the shit fest known as EA, what exactly was Xbox all about? Was it good, bad, shit, decent, alright? Well, honestly, it was just, shit but not that shit, so it was just decent. So to kick things off, they talked about the Xbox One X. For starters, they talked about when it releases, that being November 7th, the price, that being $500, which I predicted since the original Xbox One was also $500. They also confirmed that all Xbox One accessories and games will work on the X, along with Xbox 360 games, as well as Xbox original titles. They've also shown off the console to be the smallest Xbox console ever. So how the fuck they went from such a huge fucking VCR, which was the original Xbox One, to what is basically a small DVD player, I'm not gonna ever understand, but you know what? Let's continue on. So, as for games, they first showed off Forza 7, which I think that we all knew was coming. They also showed a new car as a way to promote the game, and by that I mean an actual car outside of the game, because who watches EA for games? We watch it for fucking Porsches, right guys? Then after that they showed what is a brand new Metro title, Metro Exodus, and I gotta say, it looks pretty fucking cool. Then they revealed the next Assassin's Creed game, Origins, which takes place quite a while before the first one, so that's pretty neat, I guess. It didn't look that bad in my opinion. Then they revealed that Battlegrounds is gonna be an exclusive to Xbox One, which I really don't get. Isn't it already on Steam, or is that a different game? So I'm a bit confused about that, but you know what? I'll figure it out with time, I'm sure. Then they showed off State of Decay 2, which is, you know, another fucking zombie game, because who doesn't love zombie games, right? That totally has been overdone. That market totally isn't oversaturated. And then after that, I gotta put down the phone for this. They showed Minecraft in 4K. I know, right? Isn't that so exciting? We now get to play Minecraft in 4K for the first time on consoles. So Microsoft, just remember to always play that note block nicely. That's the first step. Cuphead finally got a release date. We saw a little bit more of Crackdown 3, which really didn't show off any of the system's power whatsoever, but you know, let's ignore that. A brand new Life is Strange game, which is pretty neat because I did like the first one. Then they showed some footage for the brand new Shadow of Mordor game, which is called Shadow of War, so if you're fucking stupid and living under a rock, that now has a release date also. Then they showed the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Looks fucking pretty, you know, I may have, masturbated to it quite a few times, if I'm honest. It was quite nice to look at. Then, as a way to end things, they showed off Anthem gameplay, and I may have covered my my computer screen in some white stuff, a lotion, obviously. I mean, it was pretty hard to hold in my urges when watching that gameplay. It was quite arousing. No, unfortunately, there was no Halo 6 footage just like they promised. There was no Halo 3 anniversary just like they promised. Even though it seems like it would have been a good idea now to reveal Halo 6 as a way to build up hype, but whatever. Who needs to actually build up hype for their flagship title, right? Who the fuck cares about that shit? As for Halo 3 Anniversary being promised to not be revealed, yes, I get that, but they kind of said the same thing about Halo 2 Anniversary, then came out with the Master Chief Collection, including Halo 2 Anniversary, so I was kind of hoping that they maybe would have lied about that, and having Halo 3 Anniversary as a launch title for the Xbox One X would have definitely gotten a lot of people interested in buying the system, but who needs games, right guys? Who needs games that people want? Just reveal shit that nobody knows about. And so, that's that for Xbox. Once again, shit, but not that shit.
God, Howard, how could you betray my love?
And so, with Xbox now out of the way, we then go on to Bethesda, which has to be fucking amazing, right? After how great their last two conferences were, it only makes sense that their 2017 conference would be even better, right? They would only somehow blow themselves out of the water even further than they did the last few years, right? It only makes sense that they would, right? Right? God damn it, Bethesda, I had hope. What the fuck were you doing? You somehow made me fucking rock solid as shit your last two conferences, and then you come out with this shit this year? Are you fucking kidding me? I wanna fucking die. So, where do I even start with Bethesda? Well, let me look at the notes, why don't I? I want to die just looking at this list. So, we get some VR shit for Doom and Fallout 4, because everyone's so excited for that, right? Then we get some more Elder Scrolls shit involving, what was that? Online, Elder Scrolls Online from like 2014, that game no one plays anymore. 18 million players, all of which don't play our fucking shit at all anymore. Yeah, good job, guys. You're real fucking great. Then comes this Creation Club bullshit, which is just paid mods. Oh, I'm sorry, mods that you can pay for. They're still payable, you know, so shut the fuck up. Then comes more Elder Scrolls Legends, which is that card game no one fucking cares for, which is just there to be there. Oh, the best announcement out of all of them, you can now play as Link in Elder Scrolls V Skyrim on the Switch. Yeah, because everyone's totally fucking hyped for that shit, right? Also, it's been confirmed, you can now play Skyrim in VR! Isn't that so fucking exciting? Don't you just want to keep doing the same shit that you did for 500 hours straight 6 years ago? All over again, but in virtual reality? Doesn't that sound so fucking awesome? Excuse me, Bethesda? Skyrim? I was just wondering if maybe we could get, an Elder Scrolls 6 teaser, possibly? Skyrim? No, we want to see some Elder Scrolls 6. Oh, Skyrim! No, we don't want to see fucking Skyrim. That game's nearly 6 years old. We want to see fucking Elder Scrolls 6. What's that? You want to see Skyrim in VR, Skyrim on the Switch, and Skyrim on every other fucking platform? Don't worry, we've got plenty, Billy. We've got plenty of Skyrim to fulfill all your needs. Elder Scrolls 6? Nah, it's all about Skyrim after 6 years straight. Get ready for some more Skyrim. Get hyped for Skyrim. Then, which was one of the only decent things about this conference, they showed a brand new expansion pack for Dishonored 2, which will come out after nearly an entire year of the original game being out. This one being Death of the Outsider, and it looks pretty cool. Then they revealed The Evil Within 2, which I think we were all expecting. It looks pretty cool. And then, as a way to end things, they showed off Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. And I gotta say, with how much I fucking loved the first game, and with how much I also enjoyed The Old Blood, I'm looking forward to this game. So, don't fuck up, Bethesda. So, moving on to Ubisoft, because who doesn't love Ubisoft? So, seeing as this is Ubisoft, there has to be a ton of cringe shit, right? Right?
Oh, Ubisoft!
So now we move on to Ubisoft, which, going by previous conferences, it's probably gonna be a real cringe fest, right? A lot of gold for all those E3 cringe compilations, right? No. They didn't do that dumb shit this year. They just moved on and just talked about the games. Neat. So let's talk about what they showed. So for starters, we got to see Mario plus Rabbids Battle Kingdom. It looks good? What? You see, to me, the Rabbids have always been pre-Minions, only slightly more autistic, so the fact that they actually look somehow likable in this game, I don't get, but it's Nintendo. That's the only thing that I can say. It's Nintendo. That's why it actually looks good. Then we got to see some Assassin's Creed Origins footage in both another trailer and some more gameplay that was shown after the conference itself, but then they showed some Assassin's Creed Origins in the form of a trailer, and then they showed 30 minutes of gameplay after the conference itself, but I'll just talk about both at the same time as a way to knock it all out. It looks like Assassin's Creed, but it looks good. Then they showed the Crew 2, which, it looks good. It's not just cars, they have planes, boats, and other shit. Okay. Then we got to see more of South Park: The Fractured Butthole. And seeing as it's South Park, it made me burst out laughing quite a few times. So that's a good sign. Then we got to see a brand new pirate game called Skull and Bones, which is basically just them copy and pasting Assassin's Creed 4's pirate ship gameplay and making it its own game. I mean, everything about it looks exactly the fucking same as Assassin's Creed, just graphically improved up the fucking wazoo. But I'm sure it'll be downgraded graphically before it comes out, so let's just appreciate the graphics for what they are at the moment. Then we got to see some brand new Far Cry 5 gameplay, which looks good. I'm just happy that they didn't listen to the politically correct crowd that gets offended over every little fucking thing. So good job, Ubisoft. You gave everyone who's like that a fuck you. And then as a way to end things, they showed Beyond Good and Evil 2. I personally did not play the first one, but this one looks quite nice. And considering how the developer of the game kind of cried on stage a little bit, I can tell there is definitely passion put into this one. So that's lovely to see, you know, seeing actual human beings act like human beings up on stage at a conference like this. That's always a nice touch. But that's Ubisoft's conference. It was really fucking good. Not as good as previous conferences such as E3 2016. That was great. That was a great E3. But this one, for what it was good, considering how low the standards were for E3 2017. So, let's move on to Sony.
Oh yes, PlayStation!
So, for PlayStation, what did we get? Well, first off, sadly, no Last of Us, no Death Stranding, nothing from Sucker Punch. I mean, seriously, I can kind of understand Last of Us and Death Stranding not being there since they're probably still pretty early in development, but nothing from fucking Sucker Punch? Really? It's been over 3 years since we got something from them. You'd think we would at least get a small teaser or hint, but I guess not. Whatever. Let's just talk about what was actually there. So as a way to kick things off, we got to see Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, which is the brand new expansion pack coming out for Uncharted 4. Looks cool. Then we got to see some brand new footage for, insert zombie game here, Days Gone. Cool. Zombie games in 2017, that's fucking rad. I'm so excited. You can tell I'm just real fucking hyped. Then we got to see a brand new trailer for Shadow of the Colossus remake. I didn't play the original. Maybe I'll give this one a shot because it looks quite fucking dope. Then we got to see a Call of Duty World War II multiplayer trailer. And it looked quite cinematic, as in, it didn't look like your typical multiplayer trailer. It actually looked pretty fucking cool. Except that there were some historical inaccuracies. For one, no swastikas, and two, female and black soldiers fighting on the front lines from what I saw, which doesn't make any sense since that's not historically accurate, because for one, there were swastikas everywhere in World War II, and two, there were just pretty much only white males fighting on the front lines during that time, you know, because being historically inaccurate like that's kind of fucking disrespectful to history itself and disrespectful to the veterans of that war. But, you know, let's ignore that because my feelings in political correctness. Even though Wolfenstein 2 has swastikas, let's just ignore that. Then, after that, they showed... Are you ready? Are you ready? That's right, Skyrim on PlayStation VR. Aren't you so excited? More Skyrim, aren't you so fucking... Let me fucking... Yeah, boy. I fucking love Skyrim. I fucking love Skyrim. I love seeing Skyrim on every fucking console. Fuck yeah, I love Skyrim in 2017. Yeah, fuck yeah. More Skyrim, motherfucker. Then they showed some new footage for God of War. And I'm looking forward to that game, so that was definitely nice to see. And was definitely expected. Then after that, we got to see some footage for Detroit Become Human. A game by David Cage. Sean! 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 Jason! 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 Where are you, son? Where are you? Jason! Jason! Oh shit, Jason, don't get hit by the car. Aw, poor Jason. And then, as a way to end things, they showed brand new gameplay for Spider-Man for PS4. About fucking time. And I gotta say, it looked good. Really good. So, I'm looking forward to that in 2018, along with God of War. Oh well, I've got plenty of games in my backlog at the moment, so I'll be fine. But that's Sony's conference. A little shittier than previous ones, but not all that shit. And so, as a way to end things, we then move on to Nintendo's conference.
Oh yeah, I love Nintendo. Fuck yeah.
So, when it comes to Nintendo's conferences,
Really? This shit again? You know what? Fuck it. I give up.
And yeah, that's E3 2017. It went from being shit to being slightly less shit. Yeah, some good things, but mostly pretty boring things. Not as exciting as previous conferences, but still a lot of shit things that I'm gonna cry about later on tonight. Like, Bethesda's conference. Bethesda, why? God Howard. Why Todd Howard, Daddy Howard? We had so much hope. You failed the Force. You failed us. Maybe next year will be better. Although, to make me feel real better, you could, you know, give the rights to Fallout to Obsidian. They would do a great job because then we'd probably get a follow-up to Fallout New Vegas, which is something I really want because it's my favorite Fallout game, and that's something I definitely play. So, could you please do that? probably never gonna do that. Oh well, plenty of other fish in the sea. But that's it for E3 this year. See you guys next year when I finally die of AIDS from this fucking trash we call the Super Bowl of gaming. If you enjoyed this video, or if you hated it, I'd assume the latter, then make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share on social media. If you're on VidMe, give it an upvote and comment once again. And if you want more terrible content, there's a second channel called Pointless Nonsense that you can subscribe to. And if you want to keep up to date with me, I've got a Twitter that you can follow. Link in the description below. Ha, plugins, love it. And that's it. It's every day, bro. See you next time. Dab them haters. Peace.